It would be the equivalent of saying, do you want me to do surgery on you with this knife syringe, or do you want me to do surgery on you with this carving knife? You're like, we don't use the carving knife. I understand they both kind of achieve the same goals, but one is really dangerous and one is more safe. Simon the Bald A-hole here, and today, this is actually quite serious stuff, so I'm going to change the background, which is going to freak you out, because people think this is real, it's not, it's a green screen. There you go, I think that's more comforting as we do talk about the bad news. But we have kind of discussed this kind of stuff before, and I read it, and I thought, should I do a video on it? I thought, well, I am going to do it, like a PSA. Do you remember at the end of Saved by the Bell? At the end of Saved by the Bell, there'd always be something, or sometimes the whole episode was just like, oh, kids, wrestling did it too. Don't do drugs and don't smoke because really bad things will happen to you. Like, that felt like an odd way to just slip that in there, but they were trying to teach you a message, and that's what I'm going to do today, because we have this article, click, appears on the screen. Young US woman suffers heart attack after taking part in TikTok dry scooping trend. Now, this website needs to update its sub-editing because they put taking part, which not the means it's not probably the most legitimate thing in the world. However, she did make a video. Roll the video. But yeah, the story. A young US woman ended up in hospital suffering a heart attack after taking part in a TikTok trend. Brittany Portolo, 20, said she began to feel unwell after trying the dry scooping trend, where pre-workout powder is consumed without being diluted in water. After taking the powder dry, Brittany said she began to feel tingly and itchy, according to BuzzFeed, but I Googled it and it said it was a normal side effect, so I began to do my workout. Now, yes, tingly sensations are very apparent when you take pre-workout because of the chemicals that are in that. It kind of makes it feel like you're developing a little bit of a rash. Some people don't like it. Some people really like it because it makes them feel all pumped and ready to go. But if you have drunk it the way that it's meant to be drunk, e.g. with water, where it kind of activates a lot of the components that are in the pre-workout, then you kind of know you've protected yourself because you're walking down the right path. It would be the equivalent of saying, do you want me to do surgery on you with this knife syringe, or do you want me to do surgery on you with this carving knife? You're like, we don't use the carving knife. I understand they both kind of achieve the same goals, but one is really dangerous and one is more safe. Get the tingly sensation and you drunk it with water, you're probably going to be okay. But like this, you know, you've kind of circumvented what the powder, the tub has told you to do, so there's always going to be a risk. And she Googled it, they said it was a normal side effect, which is true. So she began to do her workout. I started feeling heavy in my chest and a slight pain, but it wasn't too bad. Right, you know this, but just in case, if you ever take anything and you get a heavy feeling in your chest, there is no workout supplement on earth that's meant to make you feel heavy in your chest. Just go and check yourself out. Stop working out. Go see a doctor. Ring whatever number you have to ring, right? Your life is more important than a stupid workout, and your life is ultimately massively more important than a TikTok trend and dry scooping this stuff. You don't need to dry scoop it. I know people will turn off at some point. Please don't dry scoop pre-workout. I thought it was maybe anxiety or bad panic attack, so I decided just to push through it and do my workout. Now, of course, do not forget, because you are spiking a lot of, well, your insulin's, not your insulin, but your, what do you call it? Cortisol's probably going to go up when you take pre-workout because, again, it's doing all this stuff, and your stress levels will rise because you're going to go into, what's it called? The flight or fight mechanic, whatever the right term is. And when you're in fight mode, which is kind of what pre-workout does, of course your stress hormone is going to go up because it keeps you more alert and it keeps you doing all of these things. Pre-workout shouldn't be making you feel anxious, and pre-workout shouldn't be making you feel like you're having a panic attack. Now, on the other end, can you crash off it? Absolutely. That's why I don't take stim pre-workout, because I crash so hard, so I come back from the gym and I feel depressed. It also gives me acne, but whatever, it doesn't matter. But that is just not one of the side effects. There are loads of side effects, but you shouldn't feel like you're about to collapse. It also probably means you've taken too much. Again, find your lowest dose that works for you and just stick to that. Why would you do anything else? Brittany's pain eventually eased, but she began to feel nauseous and lightheaded, so she went home. She had a shower and took off for work, where things went downhill. In the locker room of my job, I started to get hot even though it was cold. I started sweating and was drenched even though I was wearing a bikini. Then my chest came back, and this time it was more intense. The pain went to my back and to my left arm. My left arm went slightly limp, so I knew these were the symptoms of a heart attack. Ended up calling an ambulance and being taken to a hospital where doctors found she had an NSTEMI, or maybe that's just, individual letters, I don't know, but a type of heart attack that's typically less damaging to the organ. But still, Whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, do you ever want to experience anything that's related to a heart attack, especially from flipping pre-workout? I don't think that you do. And also, it's still going to have a knock-on effect. You may not be able to train for a while. It may mean you're never able to train the same again. You don't know. We're very delicate human beings. Again, I know I sound like your dad. That's the whole point of this video. It says right here, while doctors told Brittany to stay away from caffeine and monitor her heart, she decided to share her story as a warning to others, hence why that video from before is in the hospital. And she says, I never assumed I'd get a heart attack from pre-workout. I just want people to be careful with what they're consuming. Just because you see it online, even if a fitness influencer is doing it, doesn't mean it's safe. This is my big thing with supplements. You can buy all this crap over the counter, but you do not know. We have so many proprietary blends, I can never say that word. And the reason I don't tell you that is because they may not want you to know what's in it. And some supplements don't even go through a drug testing thing. How many MMA fighters have you seen go, I just took a supplement, and it turns out it's got horse steroids in it? Now, again, a lot of that is just an excuse, but there have been a few occasions where it's absolutely true. So you've got to be smart. Don't get this stuff and just neck it. Oh, I'll take triple the thing because I'm really cool. I'm going to go big on YouTube. I understand getting big on YouTube, but your life is more important. Trust me, it just is. No one's going to be impressed with your views if you're in a box. And San Fran cardiologist, Dr. Nicole Harkin, she got in there. And she said pre-workout powders, which typically contain protein and large amounts of caffeine. I mean, that's the dumbest thing straight away. I don't know many pre-workouts that contain protein. I'm sure there's some, but they're pretty crap because you don't need protein in your pre-workout. So this is the other issue when it comes to bodybuilding and fitness. There's always a certain level of ignorance, but what are you going to do? However, the focus is on caffeine, really. Don't know what happened to me then. Taking such a large amount at once could certainly be detrimental to the body by increasing the heart rate and blood pressure acutely. And blood pressure is a thing that everyone should check out. You can buy at-home blood pressure testing monitors. I've got one. It's like it cost me £25, and it made me feel really good because the cuff that it came with wasn't big enough for my arm, so I had to go and buy a bigger cuff. So that like massaged my ego, which was nice. And I just check it a few times a week, and ever since I've had it, it's been absolutely fine. And you know, sometimes it's going to be raised for many other things. Again, if you're stressed, it's going to go up. But as long as you're keeping a constant check on it, if all of a sudden you do think, oh my gosh, I'm having high blood pressure, you can catch it before it becomes a big deal. I don't think there's anything wrong with monitoring your health. Not in a crazy way, you're just being smart. Using a product differently than intended by the manufacturer, such as dry scooping, is rarely a good idea. I disagree with her. It's never a good idea. Ever. There's no reason to do it. It's meant to be diluted, and when you don't do this, it can have potential serious consequences on the body. And they reference BuzzFeed. I mean, I just thank you to the guy on Instagram that sent me this. Much appreciated. I mean, BuzzFeed had essentially got the same, but obviously they have to have it with all the weird pictures that they threw in there. Although she has said something like some of the first viral videos I saw of this trend were reminiscent of the 2013 cinnamon challenge. This woman blew half the powder in her boyfriend's face. Well, that's just so this is just a kind of bunch of trends that people are doing. But yeah, I really... There she is too. It's just not worth it. It's just going to the gym. And going to the gym is my favorite thing in the world. I haven't been able to go now for 5 weeks. It's going to be 6 weeks on Wednesday because I had surgery. You can catch it on another video. And I miss it like hell. And I'm not as chirpy as a person, especially because I'm losing muscle mass now, but you just have to deal with it. But if somebody, you know, presented me with this kind of scenario, nothing is worth risking your life. It's just not, because when it's over, it's over. And then what are you going to do? We don't know if you can train in the afterlife. You may just be a big jack person. I don't know. But it really does worry me because you're seeing it more and more and more. And even some people I know, I wouldn't call them friends, I'd call them gym acquaintances. They've started dry scooping as well. And again, they got a dad message from me saying, dudes, don't do this. It's not worth it. They don't have to listen to me. Each to your own. But it's just... when you read these kind of stories, and the trend will die eventually, but I go on TikTok all the time, and it's not, it's getting more and more and more. You see it all the time with that weird song, oh yeah, and then you just neck it. It doesn't help you in the gym any more than diluting it, so why wouldn't you dilute it, right? Why wouldn't you do everything you can to ensure your health is at maximum? Because when your health is at maximum, both mentally and physically, you're going to have better workouts anyway, right? It just stands to reason, so... that's another story about this thing. I really hope it's the last one we have to do. But yeah, when I saw it, I was almost like, well, if I don't talk about it, that almost feels like I'm neglecting it. You can't neglect this stuff. You kind of got to wave a big flag and get the message out there so we teach people and we don't do it again. Now, please do leave a comment below, like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding ding, so you know when other videos are going live. I'll put the other TikTok dry scooping thing up there. There's a couple, actually. You can choose which one that you want. Make sure you check out the Greg Doucette Power 13 cookbook. Link in the description below. Use the code Simon15. Get 15% off. Change your diet today. Come say hello on Instagram and Twitter at SimonMiller316. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support me that way. SimonMiller.BigCartel.com. New t-shirts coming soon. Just getting them sorted out. Otherwise, have a great weekend. I'll probably see you tomorrow, and take care.